do two talks in this week. And today I will talk about the human behavior described by simple mathematical model. All which will become not very theoretical. Here, I do not put many mathematical formulas here. I just introduce the basic idea. The first, as usual, I give some background, briefly, background, and then we'll talk about something about opinion dynamics. And my work is mainly focused on the bounded confidence model, opinion model, and we talk about our results. And later we give some concluding remarks. So the background about the social network have a lot of many applications. I think everyone knows about this. And now, because why it become a hot topic now? Because we have high tech. We have advanced mathematics. So now all of the development of the theory and the technology make this happen. We have enough power to start social, very complex social network. And in social network, we have found that there are a lot of things. One is the system effect. We consider individual and they connect with each other, and the interconnection make some emerges happen. There are a lot of connected phenomena. Here I only talk about agreement and disagreement, a lot of opinions. But of course there are a lot more. And the structure is hierarchical. We have the individual, community, and the whole society. And then from the control viewpoint, we like to mention this part because intervention is a kind of control. How to add some intervention policy there to change the social network. And opinion dynamics, I think, is one of the important topics in social network. Basically, it's related to change of the opinion or belief or attitude in a group or society. And the topic, in fact, is not new itself. It's not new. The people started from psychological and sociological viewpoint. Just after the World War II, one of the topics is that they ask a very simple question: why Adolf Hitler become the leader of Germany? So this is social network. The similar thing even now in the United States. Why Mr. Trump become president? So they can find the social network. How the social network evolved to make something happen. And of course, then we have a lot of new theory here. Just list some of them. And opinion dynamics, basically, it's talk about how a group, social group, of course, with because I put some mathematical concern here with randomly initial individual opinion, and how a group reach state collective behavior only by individual coordination and interpersonal relation, and interaction between persons. There are many important problems. One problem is about the opinion propagation. How one single person's opinion evolves. It's just like some virus, they will spread on the network, but it's totally different style. And then is the opinion evolution. How a group of people, after the discussion, the opinion become polarized, two very upset opinion. So, and sometimes we can find that the opinion fluctuate. In example, in the election or in some fashion, situations. And also, intervention. This is what I like to emphasize, because most of other people focus two parts, but we control people like to talk about this. How we control it, but not here. The control is not our modern control theory, because we have not enough power to control, just like control the society as we control the mechanical or electronic system. So now it is a new era, because it's time to start the combination of social and technology world. The two worlds work together. And to start the social opinion dynamics, we will use similar engineering technology. We use mathematical model and the data to study this underlying opinion mechanism. At first, we need to give some measurement. And then we will model the dynamics. Usually, we have two kinds of model. One is based on the multi-unit system network. Another one is based on partial differential equation. But here I focus the first one, because the first one is much more popular than the second one at present. And also, I like to emphasize that we will see that this very, very simple models will demonstrate very complicated phenomena. This is a multi-unit system. We will know that. And in the agent dynamics, we have two parts. One part we call A is the combination of neighbor information, and the B is the provide source, provide information. It's not shared by others. So we have two kinds of agents here. If if A equals 0, the agent called star agent, or sometimes called leader. They don't care about others. They just do his own free will. And the follower, the most follower, they may not have their private source, so they just combine the information of from the neighbors. And the consensus, or sometimes we'll call agreement or synchronization, is the basic problem of things. Because in this problem, all variable or some of variable will become the same, and solve no difference coverage. And to talk about the social network, let's go back about 100 years ago to see what happened in the beginning of the last century. At that time, we can find that it's good time to for the mathematical biology to see many good model appear at that time. And to start social network, social system is not so hard. We can start with very, very simple models. So you can see that there are these three proposed also in last century, very, very simple. And the first one we call French model, discuss the opinion of one agent, how one agent different others. And then the second one, I think, is very, 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 very popular in recent years, the Yiguang model. And the model is for to study the working problems. But around the beginning of this century, we have found more and more model developed, because I mentioned that three models are very, very simple, so they come not of model to a new model to start opinion dynamics. So I believe this is also a kind of a copy of 100 years ago in the study of mathematical biology. So it's time to start the mathematical sociology. And now it's I think if people, especially the young people, they are interested in the topic, I think it's making a new history. We are making a new history to put in mathematics and some data technique to social studies. And there are many different classifications of dynamic system. For example, if we consider the opinion measurement, then we will have a discrete value. For example, the Boolean value and the continuous value and even vector. Vector means they have a different topic to be calculated. And if we consider the neighbor definition, then we have the graph-based and the confidence-based. That means the neighbor either defined by a graph, the interaction graph, or by some confidence range. So this is what I will talk about later in detail. And also we have some other concerns. For example, we may have a deterministic or stochastic model. We have the graph. We consider the graph. Then we have the direct graph, indirect graph, and maybe we also have an agonistic graph. It means that we have a positive link and a negative link together. And the update moment, sometimes they update all the time, or some agent may update their opinion in different time. Okay, from here is some example. The first one are well-known deterministic continuous model. The model is a stochastic differential model. And the third one is a vector value model to start with multiple division. Before I go further, I like to show some good results about this. The first is about the opinion propagation. I just mentioned the opinion spread on our network similar to a virus or some disease, but when we go deeper, we found that totally different. Because in the study of the virus spread, the people prefer complex network. That will be more effective. But for the social network, we found regularity is very important. Why? The trust. The first person, if we heard some news from the first person, we may not believe it. And for the second one, we may not so sure. And from the third one, yeah, we will completely believe it. So this is they found that they call this is the new way, yeah, to spread opinion. That means that we need kind of regularity. The graph, the regularity can increase the social affirmation, so they can increase the spread rate. And for the opinion evolution, there are some work started with Wikipedia. They said they use a very simple DW model. I will mention DW later. Yeah, to start, they found that even for such a simple model, they found that the opinion involves the data of the opinion evolution quite much. Very, very simple. And the third one is just published in Science, worked by our control guys over Temple, and currently is from the social area. They group of people work together to study why in 2003. In the beginning, people believe the war of the Iraqi war is not unjusted, but how the power of speech changed the situation very quickly. So they gave a model to start the situation. And now I focus on the bounded confidence model. This is not a graph-based. So let's see that we take the red person. The example, so they have a confidence range. So with the range, the the other agent they are neighbor. Otherwise, they are not neighbor. So this, you can see that based on this, we can get the interaction graph. But this graph is state dependent. It's not state independent. So this will result in many technical challenges. So, and up to now, we have two well-known mathematical models based on social study. That means these two models are not created by pure mathematicians. They have some social evidence support. And the first one, simply we call HK model. It's basically based on the average of all of the neighbors' opinion. And the second one we simply call the DW model. Their rules similar to Gaussian. Here's a basic description about this kind of model. We consider n person agent, and each agent has its own opinion described by real number, and then its initial opinion value is randomly located in interval, but here just for simplicity, we put 0, 1, and then the agent has the confidence bound if so. So in this way, we can define the neighbor set for each agent. And if the system average all of the opinion of its neighbor, then its HK model, if we just selected someone, like a Gaussian, select someone, and later it will check if the selected people, the selected agent is his neighbor, then if his neighbor, they count its opinion, otherwise they just discard it. So this is the mathematical description paper published in the early this century. So you can see that this is the neighbor set. Okay, epsilon is a counting bound. So if they less than them, neighbor, then if they are neighbor, they make all of them average, all of the opinion average to update its own opinion for the next time. So this is DW model. It's kind of like a Gaussian. Each time we select two a pair of agent, then they will change their opinion. But here, notice that there is the indicator function. If they are neighbor, then we change. They change their opinion. Otherwise, they just keep their own. So if we do not have this, indicator, then the algorithm is just like the Gaussian algorithm. So you can see the HK model is a deterministic continuous time model. It's undirected interaction, and you can see the figures. And
so there are two problems with Krause. Yeah. Because Krause was here for a week last visiting Professor Untitled. Okay. So the first problem is they don't consider delay at all, which is important.
Yeah, sure.
And also the Y average. Do you actually decide the opinion of yourself or the average of others? Do you actually do that as a human? Or you look at some rank statistics or others? So he was here, we had a whole day discussion, and some of the stuff that he has done, I believe, both the work we have done here and the work he's done in the control community, supersede. We have stronger results than that in the two papers you mentioned in the book.
Oh yeah.
Really, I mean, we should look at them.
Okay.
But the main problem I have is all of the works you mentioned and all the models, they consider one network.
Yeah.
And I don't believe the problem is, as we discussed, there is a one network problem.
I don't
There is a different network which characterizes who interacts with whom, and there's a different network that characterizes who communicates with whom. In the Hitler model that you mentioned, the way things were propagating in those days, by controlled radio or by meetings, So you would have an organized meeting, and some idea will be propagated by the establishment,
Yeah.
and this will be almost forcefully propagated to others, and the propaganda of the radio will do the same. This is more like the last thing you said, it's massive control communication.
Yeah.
And again, we're not going to understand this if we don't look at two levels.
Yeah.
It's not the one network that's going on here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
And
this is one of the things that we're trying to push here in terms of understanding this interaction between the social and the, or in social terms in general. You have to separately model the interaction of the agents and the way they communicate with each other.
yeah, my concluding remark, I'll mention a little bit
Yeah.
about
It says the tremendous, because in the forced communication, you have controlled communication. The agents will have neighborhoods, they talk to each other, but you're forcing the communication graph. That has implications as far as how things propagate and or not propagate. And you're not going to capture that in just single one graph. Even a polygraph, if you go to a neighborhood set where I have, for every agent I have a set, so I don't have just a link.
Yeah.
Okay, these are called multigraphs,
Yeah.
because we allow now more than one edge, okay, and so on and so forth. Or you can go to set value graphs and so on and so forth. None of that will capture the real situation, in my opinion, if you don't allow to have two different graphs or networks, whatever you want to call it.
But maybe we need a very, very good, simple, practical example.
But look at the internet, right? When I try to make an opinion,
Yeah.
I don't just talk to my friend.
Yeah.
I also go to the network.
Yeah.
If the network that allows you communication is controlled, right, there are experiments in what's now called, actually it's very interesting, because this is actually part of cognitive psychology, that the economists are trying to take the field over by calling it behavioral economics. So they do experiments of people connected by networks,
Yeah.
by controlling who is connected to whom and what information is given. For instance, Michael Carroll's Pennsylvania does that.
Yeah.
And you will find that for the same problem, different connectivities will allow the people to arrive at a completely different decision or opinion. So the opinion where you converge to may depend not only on the upper network, which is your friends or collaborators, but also the communication graph. There's strong evidence of that right now. Just as a comment.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, we will. Talk about how to set up.
But what you describe is indeed what is the state of the art in terms of modeling, especially in the sociology part.
Yeah. So this is doubtful. It's a little bit different. And there are some variants.
Tadmor is the person who's here. Eitan Tadmor is the person who's here.
Oh.
He is in the Center for Applied Computational Mathematics. Krause was visiting Tadmor.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Tadmor
Okay.
now, this year Tadmor is in.
Yeah, they just as they try their efforts to modify. They simple and to get some.
So they put exact weights in the comments.
Yeah. And also we have different variants for development. So, but many results are based on simulation, not mathematical proofs. But there are few results obtained by people in our control society. They prove something. For example, they prove the finite time convergence in HK model, and the fragment, something like this. Okay. And then now I'll start to talk about our result. We give first thing that we try to give a general model to unify the HK model and the development model. And then we consider the opinion fluctuation, because we see that in the conventional HK and the development model, we only found the fragmentation. And also we talk about the opinion intervention in very simple case. And our results are based on the solid mathematical analysis. And then when I start to study the problem, I choose the confidence-based model because it is important and contain more technical challenges. So very few results there. Most of the opinion dynamic results are based on graph-based model. And why there are more technical challenges because that they are the indicator function make the system highly nonlinear, and the graph is state dependent. So we cannot, as most people did for the multi system, we cannot use the graph theory. So agreement, I already mentioned that with consensus, all of opinion in one group converge to the same value. We don't care where it is. But the disagreement, very common and lots of phenomena. One we call the fragmentation. That means the opinion converges, but they become a cluster, and they converge different values. And the fluctuation means there are no convergence, it always change, like a fashion. Sometimes the red color is the best one, maybe next year the blue is the best one. So we keep changing fluctuation. So we give some measurement for analysis. And yeah, this is we at first we gave a model to unify HP model, DW. We call it short range just because the model is like this. Each time in HP in DW model, we each time only found one person to gossip, but now we selected a group of people together, and we check if they are a neighbor. If they are neighbor, we make average. If not, we discuss some opinion. Discuss their opinions. So we give it a.
What is gamma there?
Gamma is the weight. Because it's gamma. Different people may have different weight. So this we may just make it look at more general, but sometimes we can face it. And of course we can write it in this way, but just I mentioned because the topic is state dependent, so we cannot use it. We have to go back to use basic.
If you make the W matrix state dependent,
yeah.
there is working control theory where they connect the nonlinear consensus problem, meaning the right-hand side,
Yeah.
the weight depends on the state,
Yeah.
to actually distribute the gradient algorithms. I mean, you can look at the work of Professor Bullo.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the special case of nonlinearity.
Okay. Yeah.
You can think of them as distributed nonlinear systems.
Yeah.
Or the distributed, like the stuff you talked about Monday.
Yeah.
And then it's related to the synchronization problem of Kuramoto oscillators.
Yeah.
And they have used that to prove, because you can think of the Kuramoto oscillator problem
Yeah.
and the convergence
Yeah.
as an opinion synchronization, right? Because the flies they go up and they light up and down,
Yeah.
and then eventually they synchronize.
Yeah.
So you can think of this as opinion agreement.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't cover everything,
Mhm.
but it's a very interesting idea that you can actually think of state-dependent
Yeah.
consensus
Yeah.
as gradient.
Yeah.
And then you can use the techniques you talked about Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have worked on that, but it's very close.
Yeah, but now we talk about disagreement, not consensus. We have
This agreement comes about because if you actually look at this as a dynamical system, if you try to find the regions of attractions of where it converges, you can find in the general case that they don't all converge, but you can actually predict
Yeah.
how many regions they could converge to.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
work from a Princeton mathematician
Okay.
who uses very generalized Lagrangians to actually understand that, and even find conditions under which
Okay.
these dynamics do not converge at all. They have what's called chaotic trajectories.
Okay.
People go around them vacillate, they never converge anywhere. Which also is been observed in politics. Meaning, the opinion split, depending on what the observations are. Yeah.
You're right. You're right. Oh, I'm check.
There's a lot of work in that particular aspect. Not a lot, there are some works, but they try to understand the non-convergence and why it happens and where it happens. The why is related to this, I think something you are talking about later, this intervention, where you actually inject something. The where it converges is more, at least the work I know, is related to some generalized Lyapunov functions in these dynamical systems where you try to find the attractors and their domain of attraction.
Oh yeah.
It's again control theory, but
Yeah.
more different.
Yeah, but now it's maybe a little bit different. Because here we have stochastic here. So maybe the attractor issue, we have to modify.
They don't have stochastic.
Okay.
The work I mentioned from Bristol, the name of the person escapes me now, is the all deterministic. It's based on influence, subgraphs, and neighborhood. So it's very much the model where you have a neighborhood, a set of people that you call neighbors based on some bound, but then it's completely dynamic. It's completely deterministic, so there's no stochastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here the model we have some. So of course we can. I'll check it and for some idea. And this is for the fragment. It's the proof is similar.
So for a person, you know, Eduardo Sonda, okay, from Rutgers, they worked on these influence graphs and their convergence in fully biological units, in the deterministic analysis.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. You can see that they separate as a subgroup.
So in this work, can you actually determine the points where they converge? Analysis?
No, because the initial opinion, the
Matters.
value is randomly.
Okay.
So it depends on the initial opinion value.
So the convergence here is stochastic in what sense? Is it probability, in mean, in variance?
No. It's deterministic. It must be converged. It must be converged.
So it's
But the value, you said where when the sense the value is random, but the convergence itself is deterministic.
So you study the convergence. So if you have a stochastic model, you study the convergence of the average equations or something else?
Sounds like you're saying that it converges to some random variable. So you have some limiting random variable with some distribution. Does you converge the limiting random variable initially?
Yeah, they have a distribution for the, of course.
So it's the convergence. I'm trying to understand in what sense the convergence is done. It's stochastic convergence, but is it in probability? Is it in the mean? In what terms?
Probability.
Probability.
Yeah, probability.
Thank you.
And of course, we can give some estimation of the group separate, but the bound is given in the mean expectation.
So this is almost true convergence. And this separation time is related to what?
Yeah.
This separation time is related to what phenomenon?
It's a fragmentation.
So when they separate?
Yeah, when they separate. Yeah, we give some upper bound estimation. And then we talk about the long range detection. That means that they're different from the first one. The long range means that each time we select some people opinion, but we do not check each of them. If each of them is our neighbor, we merge them together to get aggregative function. Then we get once we get the aggregation value, we check if the value is our neighbor. In this way, we get another model.
What do you mean by long range?
Long range means that you can see that if this one is, for example, this is me, okay?
Yeah.
And we randomly select this guy, together.
So long range means beyond your confidence bound. Beyond your confidence bound.
Yeah. But we need to check the average of this opinion. If the average value is located in our bound, we count it. Otherwise,
so let me understand. You take people that they are far away from your confidence bound.
Yeah.
You average their opinion.
Yeah, average.
And if the average happens to be, then you count it.
Yeah. Otherwise, we can't. So in this way, we have some long range.
So how do you characterize the subset of agents that agent I is considered? Is there another set? Because these are not neighbors.
But it's
so you have another characterization of the set of people that they are long range that you consider for every I?
Yeah, for every, we just consider the average opinion value. So we do not.
What is SI, I guess?
SI is select the random select. Each time we random select some people.
This long range.
Yeah, maybe long, maybe
Okay.
maybe.
Right.
We don't care, but we decided.
That answers my question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then we can prove that if we have a long range information, almost surely we can get consensus. And but we like to start the fluctuation. So we will borrow an idea from graph-based model. This is the MIT professor. They give a graph-based model to study the fluctuation.
Yeah, but that, this fellow is the husband of Hegselmann. Was like that, who is the director of Greece, right? He's an economist. Okay, so we have a lot of technical arguments about these models. For instance, they are not state dependent to start with. So to some extent, the results actually forced. He's considered a very strong economist, but I have disagreements as far as how well the models capture the actual economic situation.
So here we start our model. That means that the same model I mentioned, but here we have a group of startup agents. If there are startup agents, we have a similar phenomenon, just as you mentioned. Graph-based, you can see that.
Can I ask one question? Sorry. The set that you had earlier, SI of R, the set of other agents whose opinion you take into account. Yeah. What is the distribution over SI of R?
You mean the R?
No,
the summation. J belongs to S of I.
Here we use uniform distribution in our slide.
But then each agent is selected with a certain fixed probability, or?
Each time we select the agent in uniform distribution, random selected.
Uniform over which set?
Uniform
over which set?
The set is the interval in the, you mean the opinion set is 0, 1.
Right, so which set are you using now?
Something. All of the opinion value located in 0, 1.
Right.
And for given agent, you will select some other agent, right?
Okay.
Then they make the average. If the average is located, it's confidence bound.
Okay.
Yeah, then it counts its opinion here. But if not, it just keep its own opinion, discard the other. So this is. So each time in the beginning, we have randomly distributed initial opinion, and at each time we randomly select some agent. So
right. So how do you select a set of agents whose opinions you're going to average?
I don't know. If not that we just select them and make this is mathematical analysis. We just make it.
But unless you know the distribution of the set, how can you say it converges over sure?
This is the stochastic process,
I
right?
understand, but without knowing the distribution of this set, S of I.
Which set? Which set? We have each agent has a confidence set, right? Epsilon with real epsilon, right?
So SI of
I said it means that we randomly selected all of the agent in a uniform distribution.
But how are the SI selected? Is it, I guess what
We select it like this. For example, if we have n agent, then each agent have a 1 over n possibility.
So the long range is uniform?
Uniform. So I said it is uniform distribution in our model.
No, but there is an old paper of sociology, which I'll give you, which proves the following remarkable result. How many agents and how many hierarchies you need so that in one move you change the opinion of a crowd from yes to no. You know this paper? Okay.
No, maybe I ask you.
So all that it says is that if you have a small set
Yeah.
of upper layer leaders, that they are among themselves connected, and each one of them is connected to population, then in one field,
Yeah.
right? So you can think of the upper layer as long range.
Oh, yeah.
And they were trying to study that, exactly to study phenomena like you mentioned about power and so on and so forth.
Oh.
How does it happen, right? And it happens because these long range dependencies are very influential agents.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, I'll ask
So
you.
these are the name for the very influential ones are.
Okay, no.
the leaders.
Yeah, okay, I'll ask you.
It's a remarkable case because you need just square root of n. So if you have 100, if you have 10 higher, and then you can imagine if you have 3 layers, you can have 1 millions, and
Yeah,
essentially
sure.
10 people, you can in 2-3 steps
Yeah.
change the opinion immediately.
Yeah.
It's extremely amazing. Yeah. So the connectivity, that's why I guess I don't want to speak for Richard, but the connectivity of this long range is very important, and it's actually connected to the mathematics of small world graph
Yeah.
and to expanded graphs. How this long range connectivity is, because depending on how it is, it influences about the convergence or non-convergence.
Yeah.
So in addition to conversion or convergence, it influences also to what point you converge. So you can imagine the control aspects of that. If you can control the long range dependency, you can actually control the convergence of the crowd, one opinion or the other. I don't think the politicians use this theory, but this is sort of an abstraction of what actually happens. Anyway.
And
Very interesting problem, yeah.
No, yeah, all in all, it's quite mathematical, so we'll give a nice
Yeah.
definition. For this simple model, we start very simple model and give some condition, so it also gives the strength of it. And then,
This fluctuation is the fluctuation of opinion.
yeah,
Is a bound on what? On the variance or?
the opinion,
What is the definition of fluctuation, I guess, here?
variation is the opinion value of each agent, all of agent.
Yeah, but, okay, so this is the stochastically varying.
Yeah.
When you try to say you have a bound on the fluctuation, you bound the variance, you bound the range, what do you bound?
Oh yeah, this is bound the upper bound and the lower bound, and in steady
Oh, the
state.
interval. on the variance.
Yeah.
Okay, the spread.
Yeah, that's very right. And then I'll talk about something about our work, our innovation, and
Now you understand opinion intervention actually is control,
yeah.
because this is actually the control.
So this is what I would like to say more about it, because innovation is control, and but this control, and we know that the model control cannot apply. So we need some new technique, because here the control cannot have some simple indirect way. Cannot put in like the control the mechanical electronic system. Totally different.
So, okay, so one point I want to make, and I don't consider political statement, is what Trump is doing by his Twitter. Okay?
Yeah.
No, seriously, the actual model is that you are modeling yourself because you have a lot of followers
Yeah.
as an important node from the point of view that you now have many long-range connections. Okay? So instinctively, that's what he's doing. He's trying to influence a lot of people by establishing, because he has a large following, many long-range connections.
Yeah. So
So this is an example of this that's happening right now.
if we can have the data, we get
I
a
don't
simple
think I
model.
will get the data, but I mean, that's it. If you get the data, see the point is that if you get the data, you can actually counterbalance it. You can constrain the spread. This is an interesting problem, actually. So you can consider a situation where you have people that try to become influential agents, and then you, as the objective, if you like, reporter, you want to create other opinions to counterbalance the spread of either false gossip and so on and so forth. And this has not been analyzed, because this is a new phenomenon. This real-time interaction between influential agents, right, is a very new phenomenon.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very good.
We start very simple. We start with very simple problem. That means that how we can make the fragmentation.
So here you're trying to find an intervention to reduce the disagreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because this is called propaganda, you know. Because you try to constrict the anyway.
And here, just as I said, we start with a very simple mathematical model. We start with the HK model. So how we do that?
Which model?
HK model, the
HK.
Krause model, yeah, Krause model. And we just found that we put a little bit noise there, we can strictly prove the system will convert, achieve consensus.
So what do you do here? You inject noise?
Yeah, we inject noise. We put the noise here. Put the noise
in
here.
every node.
Some we can select someone, but you know that the noise will spread.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't care. We can select some node. Here we select a group of node. We put noise there.
Can you understand? You inject noise,
Yeah.
context-free noise, right? I mean,
Yeah.
right? Because this is not dependent on X. It's not
No,
dependent on
no,
what
no.
you're trying to agree on.
Yeah.
Just the noise. And then you prove what?
Prove the consensus. So we can we consider this is modified HK model, HK model, and if of course we have a two constraint because 1 and 0 are extreme value, so we cannot surpass it. So the larger value is still 1 and the smallest value is still 0. So we prove that if the noise is less than half of the content bound, then almost surely they become, we call it content. That means that also show the picture. So they will merge with one group with the arrow the comment bound epsilon less than epsilon. And but if the larger, for the second case, if larger than that, then it cannot achieve it. So we can see that. If the noise is very large, then sometimes you.
So if you add noise which is large, you may actually not converge. But if you add small one, does it matter where you inject the noise or not? Does it matter to which nodes you inject the noise? No, you just inject everything.
Yeah. No. And in the beginning, I kind of feel a little bit surprised, but later we found it can be easily understood. Why? If there are no upper bound and lower bound, no such result, because you know the randomly go outside, right? But we have two extreme values, so sometimes you have to go back, and because of the randomness, so they almost surely they will hit each other sometime, and then we will prove if the noise is not large enough when they meet each other, they will keep together. Yeah, this is the idea. But it doesn't work for development model. HK model is everything.
So what you saw there is subgroups that they converge and
Yeah.
they stay together, then the subgroups converge.
Yeah.
That's how it happens?
Yeah, it's happening.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, but when the noise is very small, the converging will very
Here's the question.
Isn't it like saying that because now subgroups converge and because they're bouncing around within the boundary,
Yeah,
the boundary will
really,
then eventually
yeah.
hit each other, right?
Yeah.
Once you hit, then you stick together, right?
Yeah. This is a two step in our proof.
Can you? I guess another problem is if you have something like this, what does it mean for this thing to kind of move around? What's the meaning of it?
This opinion change. Yeah, we said, for example, if we put some rumor there, so you change their decision because some rumor is randomly change. Sometimes they will increase their possibility to become.
Right. So can you say that in fact the the value would eventually converge in distribution to something and characterize the distribution?
No.
It's easier to figure it in hierarchical Markov chain. Then you converge to some class, right?
Yes.
Ergodic subclass, and you stay there. And then the classes themselves, now if you go to hierarchy, converge again. That's how I understand it. You have a hierarchy of Markov chains, and some of them will aggregate and stay there.
Right. No, I understand that part. So basically, different groups are bouncing around,
Yeah.
and the ones they meet.
I think in the HMM situation, it's easier to understand what's going on. Here he has X which is continuous, which is the Krause model. That's why people object to the Krause model, because many of these opinions cannot be modeled accurately in vector spaces. They have to be in 0, 1, or other spaces, right?
Oh, no. So the question that I was asking has more to do with the fact that unless you can say something about the distribution of the limiting random variable,
Yeah.
it's really difficult to interpret these results.
Yeah, we will. But we have some result, but not a complete proof. We believe that because of noise, the noise is persistent.
All right.
Always get in, and eventually the initial condition doesn't come. Finally, it will be uniform if this kind of thing like this. But we are not completely, but we guess this is the result because completely.
So your analysis and simulations are based on the assumption that all the regions have the same confidence value, right?
Yeah, right. But we, in fact, we can prove they are different. But this not in this paper. We also prove if they are different confidence bound. We have similar. Yeah, similar thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have, but that paper, we have not submitted. Yeah. But in that case, it's much more complicated because the graph is direct.
That's right.
Yeah, this is much more complicated. Not the way, not we are careful. Under graph, we have basically 2 steps to prove it. But for the direct graph, no. It's hard. It's really hard. We have a different view. Yeah. And here, I think it's good time to start the social network of indexes. And here we focus on the disagreement and talk about a little bit a very simple dimension policy here. And the next we consider, but I do not have many students, so I also need
The problem is understood. The problem is actually, you said it is data. Because people don't want to share data. Because they don't like you to find things from the data and they don't like you. So this already has happened. I won't mention the company, but a couple of companies that they gave data to academics, the academics analyzed it. The conclusions that the academics came to were not favored by the company and no more data.
Sure. Yeah.
So many people now rely to either, we have a whole group here that is generating more or less realistic data and you can analyze them. But how realistic they are, do you know? I do not know, because they are not the real data. That's one problem. And the other problem is, even Google, there's an enormous amount of data. The problem that some people started thinking seriously, and there's a whole group of these people that they study and this problem in Israel and others, is that no one at any point has full information about data in the network. So you have to understand this from the point of view that at any time you only have information from a slice of the network.
Oh,
Right? So it's a very difficult partially observed problem in our language, where the information you have from instance to instance may be only from a subset of the network. So people are trying to find out, the mathematical problem is this: if I have a property of the network, when is the property predictable from these slices? In other words, if from these slices I can predict the property, can I say the entire network is the property or not?
Oh, yeah.
So this is mathematical problem. And again, there are some very strict conditions I have to be satisfied to be able to say that the property you observe from this small set of data is generalizable to the entire network. Otherwise, you analyze data from a certain perspective, somebody else understands a different slice of the data, and the conclusions can be different, as you can imagine. So it's a very difficult problem. But the reality is that no one, at any point, will have the entire network data. So it's a very difficult problem from the control perspective, the pseudo control perspective, because you have partial information which varies from one instance to the other, meaning you observe different sets of agents, different information, and so on and so forth. It's very difficult.
So maybe,
I mean, indeed, it's a good time to study these problems, but at the same time, we have major obstacles as far as linking to real data. And the other warning I give you is if you do experiments with students, it has been observed that humans that they are told that they are going to be experimental, how should I say?
oh yeah.
Observed by,
You
you are not sure that their behavior is the natural one. They may change their behavior because they are observed. Right. There was actually, I was watching the news this morning before I came here, and there's a new book that came out that gives examples of where some information that was given to people just before a critical vote or decision changes completely.
Oh.
So it's something in the human brain that flips when you hear something. Correctly, you do the wrong thing or the right thing. It was very interesting. Yeah, anyway.
Okay, so wrap up conclusion. So next, so I consider how to combine the two content-based and graph-based together, maybe in some cases. And also, here I want to say that if we have a two-layer network, we consider the content trust.
This we have done some initial steps in the last part,
Uh-huh.
where the two layers are, up here you have opinion dynamics, and down here you have a faster computation of trust, which is local. This was the PhD thesis of Chen Yang, who is now with Facebook. So what he did is he tried to understand how a locally distributed computation of trust can be done fast, and then the decisions out of this trust influence your gammas, the weights, right?
Yeah,
So the weight by which you value the opinion of a neighbor or a person within your confidence, or you may even change the confidence level based on the trust computation.
Sure.
And the advantage we got out of the trust computation is that the connectivity required to converge, even if you have malicious or adversary agents in the group that is trying to make you not to converge, is much smaller than the one predicted by earlier results in computer science. Now, will the trust help you to improve convergence to consensus by eliminating the people or the agents you detect that they are persistently giving you wrong information? That's the idea.
Yeah. And then do you use the several permutation to something?
No, here is just basically dynamics of two stochastic systems with different types of fields. Because we didn't have to use single perturbation because we didn't have a metric of performance. It was just an analysis of the dynamical equation.
Okay.
Right? So we didn't need to do average or nothing. We already assumed that the trust computation has to be fast enough. Then the trust computation provided modifications to the weight of consensus. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a bit different. The goal here was to quickly detect the bad guys because of the trust, and then exclude them from the opinion dynamics. And this is really inspired by earlier work in computer science where we're trying to do distributed computation in networks of processors where some processors may be faulty. Okay, so brilliant actually with Chinese this problem was unsolved for many years, and then some person said, wait a minute, maybe we could, by looking at the inputs and outputs of the processors, detect the faulty ones, take them out of the computation, and then prove convergence. So they proved that you needed 2f+1 connectivity for every node, where f is the number of faulty detectors to get convergence of the distributed computation. In this problem, we found that actually you can get consensus with connectivity much less than 2f+1.
Oh, okay.
It's very interesting. The thing that is interesting to note is that consensus has been studied in computer science, but the meaning is different than what we mean in control or sociology. Yeah.
Oh.
Right. That's what we found out anyway.
And here I would just like to emphasize that we need a new computer theory. to study social. And another thing that we can give some new learning technique based on the social ideas. So this is
You're definitely right, because when you start adding networks to these individual systems, you need a new control theory.
Yeah.
The classical doesn't work.
And also, yeah, when we started the social network, and we have some new small intelligent overs we can learn from the human being.
But still, I claim that still we don't have incorporated in these complicated systems better models of human behavior. This is the big unknown.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.